Welcome back to Change Your Life. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of Washington quarter value coins, exploring their iconic design, hidden treasures, and shocking history as we reveal the top 3 most valuable and ultra-rare U.S. quarters. The coins featured in this video include 1992 Washington quarter, no mint mark, Philadelphia. 1983 Washington quarter, P mint, Philadelphia. 1986 Washington quarter, P mint, Philadelphia. 1979 Washington quarter, no mint mark, Philadelphia. These quarters are struck in cupronickel-clad composition and feature the classic eagle reverse design, symbolizing strength and freedom in U.S. coinage. At first glance, these quarters may appear dirty, worn, and heavily circulated, just ordinary pocket change. But don't be fooled. Certain rare mint varieties, errors, and high-grade specimens have turned some of these seemingly common quarters into treasures worth thousands, and in rare cases, even millions, of dollars. Money bag. Before you spend that old quarter sitting in your pocket or coin jar, stick around, you might be holding a hidden fortune in your hands. Backhand index pointing right first up. Coin number 1. The 1992 Washington quarter. At first glance, it's just another 25-cent coin. Most people see it as common, unremarkable, a coin that jingles through pockets, vending machines, and cash registers without anyone giving it a second thought. But in the quiet world of coin collectors, even a single quarter can hold secrets that can shock and amaze. Philadelphia produced millions of these coins in 1992, and the absence of a mint mark doesn't make it rare at first glance. Yet value is rarely about sheer numbers. It's about survival, condition, and those subtle variations that most people overlook. In circulated condition, many of these quarters are dirty, worn, and heavily handled. Their copper-nickel surfaces bear scratches, the eagle on the reverse has softened, and the details on George Washington's profile on the obverse are dulled. For the casual observer, it's just pocket change. But for the collector, the story begins when you look closer. High-grade coins, those that escaped circulation, often retain sharp details, crisp feathers on the eagle, defined lettering, and clear edges. Coins like these are what drive collector interest. Even small differences in strike quality, alignment, or surface preservation can separate a coin worth mere face value from one worth hundreds of dollars in the right market. Condition alone isn't the only secret to value. Some 1992 quarters reveal minting anomalies or die variations. Slight doubling of letters, off-center strikes, or unusual planchet imperfections create rarity where the casual eye sees none. Coins with these characteristics often attract bidding wars online or in specialized auctions, creating moments of excitement and frenzy among collectors. It's important to understand the power of preservation. The Washington quarters of 1992 were made to circulate, not to be saved. Over 3 decades, most of them endured the wear of daily life. Yet some remained untouched in rolls or collections, maintaining their original luster and sharp details. These coins are treasures precisely because so few survived unscathed, making them desirable in a market that values condition above all else. Collectors also pay attention to the small, often overlooked details, the spacing of letters, the texture of the eagle's wings, or the crispness of the date. These subtle elements, almost invisible to the untrained eye, are what distinguish a quarter worth a few cents from one that can command significant premiums. When a 1992 Philadelphia quarter exhibits these features, it becomes more than just a coin. It becomes a story of survival, craftsmanship, and history encapsulated in metal. The emotional thrill of discovering a valuable coin in your pocket or change jar is unparalleled. The thought that what seems ordinary could contain hidden value is why coin collecting captivates millions. Even a coin produced in mass quantities can surprise. The 1992 quarter is a reminder that history, artistry, and chance converge in small metal discs, waiting for someone to recognize their worth. For those holding such coins, the lesson is clear: don't make assumptions based solely on appearance. A dirty, heavily circulated quarter may hide details others miss. A quick glance may tell you it's common, but a careful inspection, proper lighting, and understanding of what collectors seek can reveal a different reality. Patience, knowledge, and a trained eye are the collector's tools. Even though the 1992 Philadelphia Washington quarter isn't universally rare, its story is valuable. It illustrates how coins carry more than monetary value, they carry history, artistry, and the potential for discovery. In a world obsessed with instant gratification, this humble quarter reminds us to slow down, look closer, and appreciate what's right in front of us. In the end, the 1992 quarters lesson is subtle yet powerful. Ordinary can hide extraordinary, and a little curiosity can turn everyday change into a treasure hunt. Every worn edge, every faint detail, every surviving luster tells a story that links you to the past, a story worth exploring and preserving. The 1983 Washington Quarter. At first glance, it looks ordinary, a small silver-colored coin that's passed through countless hands over decades. Most people only see it as pocket change, something to pay for a candy bar or vending machine. But in the quiet world of coin collectors, this very coin can hold secrets that are shocking, even life-changing for those who know what to look for. Philadelphia minted millions of these quarters in 1983, and the P-mint mark often goes unnoticed by casual holders. To the untrained eye, it's just another coin. Yet in coin collecting, every detail matters. Condition, strike, and subtle anomalies turn ordinary coins into treasures. A heavily circulated coin may be dirty and worn, but even in this state, it carries the history of every hand, every transaction, and every journey it has made. Look closer, and the 1983 P. Washington quarter starts to tell a story. The obverse shows George Washington's profile, his features softened by decades of handling. The reverse, the eagle with outstretched wings, might appear dull, but the tiny nuances, the spacing of feathers, the sharpness of the lettering, the clarity of the date, can make all the difference. Collectors seek these details, often spending hours inspecting coins under magnification to spot the slightest variations. The value of a quarter isn't just in its metal. In fact, the 1983 P is made of a copper-nickel clad, nothing precious in the raw materials. But scarcity and preservation elevate its worth. Coins that survive decades without deep scratches or corrosion, coins with perfect edges and strong strikes, can suddenly command hundreds of dollars. The difference between a coin that's just change and one that's a collector's gem is razor thin, yet the impact is immense. Some 1983 P quarters even exhibit subtle minting anomalies, a doubled die, slight off-center strike, or unusual planchet mark. These imperfections, invisible to most, are highly sought after. They make a coin one of a kind, a piece of history that collectors will fight to own. When such a coin appears on the market, bidding can skyrocket, turning what once was a quarter into a small fortune in the hands of the right buyer. It's also a lesson in timing and patience. Many quarters minted in 1983 are scattered across wallets, jars, and piggy banks. The majority have been worn down by circulation, but those that were carefully saved tell a different story. Their preserved surfaces and clear details make them the stars of auctions and private sales. Knowledge and timing are everything. Spotting a rare example before it hits an auction can make a collector's heart race. There's also the thrill of discovery. Imagine digging through a jar of coins, expecting only loose change, and suddenly finding a 1983 P quarter with strong details, clean edges, and just a hint of mint anomaly. That moment, fleeting but intense, captures the essence of coin collecting, the ordinary hiding the extraordinary, the overlooked revealing hidden wealth. Collectors don't just value the coin for its monetary potential. They value the story it tells, the journey from mint to pocket, the wear that marks human history, the subtle imperfections that make each piece unique. The 1983 P. Washington quarter carries decades of untold stories, and for those who understand, it's more than metal, it's history, art, and chance all rolled into one. Even if a coin seems ordinary, the 1983 P teaches an important lesson: never underestimate what you hold. A glance might suggest it's just another quarter, but a closer look might reveal a gem that can change fortunes. In the world of coin collectors, knowledge, patience, and attention to detail are what turn ordinary coins into extraordinary treasures. In the end, the 1983 P. Washington quarter isn't just a coin. It's a bridge to the past, a reminder that value is often hidden in plain sight, and that even the most ordinary items can surprise, inspire, and potentially transform a collector's life. Every worn edge, every faint detail, every surviving luster is a story waiting to be discovered. The 1986 Washington quarter sits quietly in drawers, pockets, and jars across the United States. At first glance, it looks ordinary, a simple coin designed for daily commerce. Most people see nothing but 25 cents. But to a collector, the story of this coin is far deeper, far more fascinating than anyone could guess. It is not just copper and nickel cladding, it is history, mystery, and potential treasure rolled into a small, unassuming disc. Philadelphia struck millions of these coins in 1986, and the P-mint mark is often overlooked by those who aren't looking closely. Yet value is rarely about numbers alone. Condition, subtle errors, and the journey a coin has survived often dictate its worth more than the coin itself. The heavily circulated coins of this year show the wear of decades, softened eagle feathers on the reverse, dulled letters, and faint impressions of George Washington's profile. Every mark tells a story, every scratch hints at the life this coin has led. Collectors don't just look at a coin and see metal, they see detail. The 1986 P. Washington quarter offers a quiet lesson in observation. A crisp strike, sharp lettering, and a well-defined eagle can dramatically increase a coin's value. Even the tiniest anomalies, often invisible to casual eyes, can transform a quarter worth mere cents into a collector's prize. The eye trained for detail will notice subtle doubling, minor planchet imperfections, or slight misalignments that could push the coin into rare territory. The magic of coin collecting lies in chance. While millions of 1986 P quarters circulated freely, a small fraction survived nearly untouched. Their surfaces retain a natural luster, edges remain sharp, and details on both obverse and reverse are remarkably clear. These coins don't just command attention, they spark competition. Collectors watch auctions, search online marketplaces, and examine coin rolls with painstaking care, knowing that spotting a rare example can yield returns unimaginable to the casual observer. Even coins in worn condition carry potential. A 1986 P quarter, though heavily circulated, may still reveal hidden traits. A faint mint error, a subtle die variation, or a unique surface pattern can elevate the value exponentially. What appears to be pocket change could actually be a rare gem, overlooked for decades and suddenly thrust into the limelight of the collector's market. It is this potential, hidden in plain sight, that fuels excitement and the relentless hunt for rare coins. The emotional thrill of discovery is unparalleled. Imagine sifting through loose change or an old coin jar and uncovering a 1986 P Washington quarter with unexpected characteristics, a slight doubling of letters, an unusual edge, or simply a coin preserved better than most from that year. That moment is electric. It connects the collector to history, to the minting process, and to decades of human hands that once carried this coin, unaware of the treasure it might hold. Understanding rarity is crucial. While the 1986 P is not universally considered rare, subtle differences can make all the difference. A coin with exceptional preservation, sharp details, or slight anomalies can attract high bids from collectors willing to pay well above face value. These coins are reminders that the ordinary can become extraordinary, and careful observation often uncovers hidden opportunities in everyday objects. Collectors also treasure the story encapsulated in these coins. The 1986 P Washington quarter is more than copper-nickel cladding. It is a piece of American history, a representation of artistry, and a reflection of a time when coins were struck not just for commerce, but as miniature monuments to culture and craftsmanship. Every eagle feather, every edge, every subtle dent carries a narrative waiting to be discovered. Even the act of holding a 1986 P quarter invokes a sense of continuity. From mint to pocket, through decades of circulation, it has been a silent witness to daily life, economic changes, and personal histories. For a collector, these aspects add immeasurable value. The coin becomes a bridge to the past, a tangible connection to 1986, a reminder that even common objects can possess profound significance when viewed through the lens of knowledge and curiosity. In the end, the 1986 P Washington quarter teaches patience, observation, and respect for detail. It is ordinary yet extraordinary, circulated yet full of potential, worn yet rich in history. For those who understand the world of coin collecting, this quarter is not just a coin, it is a story, a treasure, and a quiet opportunity to discover hidden value, an opportunity that could surprise anyone who dares to look closely. The 1979 Washington quarter. To most people, it's just another coin that jingles through wallets, cash registers, and pocket change. At first glance, it seems ordinary, just a piece of copper-nickel clad, stamped with the familiar profile of George Washington on one side and an eagle on the other. But what appears common to the casual observer can hide secrets worth unimaginable sums to those who know how to look. This quarter, minted in Philadelphia with no mint mark, was designed for circulation. Millions of them were struck, and most lived out their lives in hands that never paused to consider their worth beyond face value. Yet even in dirty, worn, heavily circulated condition, this coin carries a history. Every scratch, every dull mark, every softened detail is a silent witness to decades of transactions, journeys, and stories, a tangible piece of 1979 traveling through time. Collectors know that value isn't always obvious. The 1979 no-mint mark Washington quarter may appear mundane, but the right eye sees hidden potential. Coins that survive decades without extreme damage, even if they show normal circulation, can reveal subtle details that elevate their status. The sharpness of the eagle's feathers, the alignment of the lettering, or even minor differences in the metal strike can transform an ordinary quarter into a treasure worth far more than most would imagine. Minting errors and subtle anomalies make certain examples exceptional. A faint doubled die, an off-center strike, or an unusual planchet flaw can instantly convert this coin from everyday currency into a collector's prize. The thrill lies in discovery, spotting the hidden variation before anyone else, understanding the rarity, and recognizing the value that the untrained eye cannot see. These coins are not just objects, they are stories frozen in metal, waiting to reveal themselves. Even coins heavily worn by decades of circulation hold lessons for collectors. The 1979 Washington quarter reminds us that time affects all things, yet the enduring details, faint impressions, and remaining luster can still command attention in auctions, private sales, and collector circles. For someone who understands the market, what looks like simple change may become a bidding war and transform an overlooked coin into a small fortune. The thrill of holding a 1979 quarter, realizing it could be worth hundreds or even thousands, is unlike anything else. There is a quiet power in these coins, ordinary to most, extraordinary to a few. Every worn edge and softened profile whispers stories of American life, of commerce, of history circulating through hands that never realized they were touching potential treasure. Collectors don't just see value in the coin's metal. They see history, artistry, and chance converging in a single object. The 1979 no-mint mark Washington quarter teaches that even coins struck in massive quantities can surprise. Preservation, condition, and anomalies matter far more than sheer numbers, and one carefully saved quarter can be more valuable than millions of worn examples combined. Every detail matters: the curve of the eagle's wings, the faint rim lines, the spacing of letters, all contribute to what makes a coin valuable. Knowledgeable collectors understand that these subtleties define a coin's worth, while casual holders walk past them, oblivious to the fortune in their pockets. It is a reminder that the extraordinary often hides in plain sight. The 1979 Washington quarter also carries emotion, history, and human connection. It traveled through decades, across hands, wallets, and streets, silently witnessing life's movements. For collectors, this adds depth. The coin is not just metal, it is a story, a living memory, a potential key to wealth for the observant and patient. In the end, the 1979 no-mint mark Washington quarter is a lesson in patience, observation, and perspective. Ordinary coins can hold extraordinary surprises. Heavily circulated, worn, and dulled by time, it may still carry value that can astonish anyone who examines it closely. Every edge, every mark, every faint detail could transform pocket change into a collector's treasure and remind us that sometimes, history hides in the smallest objects.